Hi, I'm Vanessa Krumholz, your local expert and real estate professional with Wyckoff Realtors, and thank you for joining us on parkbench.com/Wyckoff. I'm here today with Lisa Hardenspeld, owner of Creating with Clay, which is a very unique business, and I'm really excited to have her tell us all about it today. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks for having me.
This is so nice. So tell me a little bit first off about how you ended up in Wyckoff and what brought you here.
Sure. Well, I grew up in West Milford. My husband grew up in Wayne. And we always liked the Wyckoff area. It was just something we always liked and always kind of dreamed about. And some people, were like, oh, Wyckoff, and I was like, yes, I love Wyckoff. It's so beautiful and it's got such a good name and everybody knows it so well. And so anyway, we were very interested in coming down here because I traveled. I worked at Eastern Christian. I was the art teacher there.
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling over that Skyline Drive, and a lot of times it was very snowy in West Milford and not here as much in Wyckoff. And so one day my husband said, you know what, it's most of my family, the three of us are traveling over, because it was me and my two children, over Skyline Drive, and he said we just have to get closer. And so another teacher that actually was retiring had this house, and one thing led to another, and here we are, and we're so happy 16 years later.
Wow, so how old were your kids when you moved into town?
Let's see, Matthew was about 16 years, so I have to do the math here. He was 8, and then my other one was 6. Jonathan was 6.
Oh wow, and they go to they went to Eastern Christian, right?
They did a little bit at Lincoln. My younger son did the whole elementary at Lincoln School, and then my oldest just did 2 years there. And then when they started middle school, we sent them to Eastern Christian, just because I had worked there, and schedules are the same. It made it a little bit easier, and we had heard things that it was a good school too. So. Yeah.
Did it make the transition easier because you were already working here, so you already knew some people in town, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You still get acclimated, wherever you are.
Yeah.
But this really is a beautiful town, and we're so thankful. We're just so thankful to have been here this long and continue to be here. So yeah, it's a great town. It is a great town. Highly recommend it.
I feel like people are very welcoming, and it's easy to kind of make friends.
Yes,
and,
absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And everything's so convenient. I feel like, especially for what we do, if I need to get, even like I had to go to South Jersey this week, even getting on like just the Parkway, it's just convenient, and everything around you, the stores, we can walk to Stop and Shop. So it's
so nice.
It's nice. It's nice. So yeah, it's great being here. It's great being here. I feel blessed.
What is your favorite, what's your favorite restaurant in town to go to?
Oh boy, I like a lot of them, but
Putting you
I
on the spot.
Blue Moon.
Oh yeah.
I love the Mexican Blue Moon over there. Oh, they just
guacamole.
I love it. The fresh guacamole to die for.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
There's a few, but that's
Blue
one of
Moon's
my
great.
favorite. Yeah.
They seem very integrated into the community also. Like
Absolutely. They do a lot of like fundraising things for people, and that's always kind of gets your heart too, raising money for others. And so anyway, yes, they're a good restaurant.
Yeah, I like that too. So Creating with Clay, now tell me about the inception of because this is a very unique business that you have. I never even knew this was like,
I know.
yeah, this is really cool. So tell me how you started it.
Well, should we go back, I guess, quite a little
Yeah,
bit,
let's
or
go
just
back
a little
to the
bit?
beginning
Okay.
or two. I know you had an incident, so
Sure.
maybe you can tell us a little.
Sure. So I was the art teacher at Eastern Christian School, and something very unique had come up in the city. And I said, you know what, my husband and I talked, and we said we're gonna go for this unique opportunity. And so I left at the end of the year. They kind of had the party, said goodbye, taught another teacher. And no sooner did, about 3 weeks maybe later, I didn't have that opportunity anymore. I didn't even get on the first day, and it wasn't there. So so I really kind of had to figure things out, and it was a really hard time for me because I did like being a teacher, and I was really kind of put, as we had said, all my eggs in a basket for this other opportunity, and so I really didn't know like what was next for me. So it was really a hard time for me. Definitely got depressed, very depressed. So yeah, it was just a really hard time, and so after in that kind of, I did little odd jobs here and there. And one of the things I found out is that people with special abilities, special talents, unique things that they have to offer can get hired by a healthcare facility to come in and work with their residents doing this unique program. Because a lot of them can offer so much, but they can't offer everything. And so that's where these unique little things come in, programs, and I ended up being one of them. And so so anyway, I had a nurse friend next door, and she just encouraged me, and she said, you know, Lisa, you have this artistic ability, and you know, it'd be great to use it. And so that, coupled with, wow, I found this neat thing out, we started this program called Creating with Clay. And so we use the clay as our medium to really go in healthcare centers, assisted living facilities, nursing facilities, places, special needs places, and get to do programs there. So,
wow. Yeah. So you go into the assisted living and you have like a class like set up, and everybody gets to work with the clay and make things.
Yes, yes, it's so wonderful. So over the years now, because I've been in business almost 8 years, over the years now, I have really been able to talk to occupational therapists, physical therapists, clinical psychologists, which maybe I'll get to read in a minute. And that input really helped me to design a program that's very unique. And what it does is it really couples kind of the emotional and also the physical part of people. And so we really work the hands, very good for arthritis. Especially as people get older, a lot of times they get a lot of pain in their hands from arthritis, and then of course when you get pain you don't want to move your hands, and it just kind of makes it worse, and then over time most of them can't. So this program really helps them to really work their fingers. So we do kind of an exercise program. So we work the hands, we work the arms, we work the shoulders, and really be able to integrate that into them making a project that they can really enjoy. So that's been really unique. What I didn't realize when I started was really how many people we would be able to touch, and is what's been incredible. So.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine. I know my father-in-law was in assisted living, and there came a point where he didn't want to leave his room. And so, you know, we had talked about this previously, but if there had been something to kind of draw him out, a simple thing, easy and in a relaxed atmosphere, then that, you know, could be helpful for people.
Totally. You know, what's nice about clay, and again, I don't know if people remember when they were little, I do, making mud pies in my yard. If that's what kind of brings people to that remembrance, or even like Play-Doh, it's similar to Play-Doh, in that, you know, they don't feel intimidated. And so a lot of times, you know, depression is a big thing in these facilities. And so when, you know, people are depressed, then of course they don't want to come out of their rooms. And when they don't come out of their rooms, it makes it worse. And so, you know, if you go in and you say to them, hey, we're having a singer, you know, it's kind of like, well, I can't sing, because for me, I'd be like, well, I can't sing. I'll let it break the windows. But you know, I can't sing, and so I don't want to come out. But there's something about clay that, again, going back to if it's a remembrance of when they were little, or the Play-Doh, or what it is, but it's just non-intimidating, and they just feel like they can come out and do it. And to me, that is just the start of getting them out of the rooms, getting them out of that state of feeling depressed, and really being able to make something beautiful.
Hi, so now we've brought out some clay so that we can put it all to in action and see how we actually create with clay. So tell me what's going on here.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm first going to read you, if that's okay,
Yeah.
very interesting thing. Again, you know, I like to, I mean, I see things obviously all the time, but I always like to get like that clinical proof too.
Yeah.
So I had a man that, he's a clinical psychologist, and he had been in my class really almost a year. I think it was a good year. And, you know, I said to him, I said, could you please just write, doctor, what you see? Because I see things happening and we're changing lives and we're making a difference. But write, please, for me, what you see, you know? So this is what he wrote, and I was so taken by it. The Creating with Clay program engages residents who have profound psychological issues. Withdrawn patients become animated and create projects which they are proud of. Patients in a nursing home setting who have suffered cognitive loss are also engaged. They become more motivated and more inclined to follow their medical and psychiatric treatment. And I think what really hit me with that again is that when, you know, someone asked me what would the word, you're gonna go like this while you're nice and round, what would be the word to, you know, describe your company? And I said, hope. Well, here now, if these people are really that impacted, then as he says, they're taking their medical advice much, you know, to heart, taking care of it, because they feel better about themselves. And so again, for me to see it is one thing, but to get the clinical results of it is another. And so that's what's just been so, it's been incredible.
That's amazing.
It's just been incredible. And the different people that I've met and it's just, the people that we've helped.
Well, you might think that, oh, why wouldn't people be taking care of their health? But I've seen firsthand that when people get in that situation and there's a lot of work they have to do, that's hard. It's hard to, you know, when you have arthritis, to do, and you know, to do breathing exercises because your lungs are not working at full capacity.
Absolutely.
And they give up.
Yes.
Because they're hard.
Yes.
And so to have something like
not
this
intimidating.
that's going to, you know, impress them that they have to.
Absolutely.
It's a big
And then they
difference.
just, I mean, I had a lady once, I was doing it, it was so cute. She couldn't come to my class, but I started doing the class and I started doing the exercise program.
Yeah.
And this lady, I could see her because they had all the doors open, and she's walking past the hall and she knew the exercise. And she was going, she's smiling at me. And she might have peeked in, or maybe later she said to me, I do them every day. And she said, Lisa, they make such a difference for my arthritis. They help me so much. So it's just so cute. Okay, now your cable. So what's good for your shoulder blades is actually rolling big circles. So gentle. Everything's just very gentle, just like a potter. You can see the clay is nice and soft, right? Nice and soft. So a lot of clays are very hard. So if you're doing this with somebody, like if you want to take some clay somewhere that you're visiting someone, make sure it's very soft. That's the key, you know, because if it's really hard, it's just going to make it worse. Okay.
Yeah, because it'll be like a struggle.
Yes.
What kind of clay do you buy? Like, where do you
well,
get it from?
I it's kind of
Secret?
my little private thing. Proprietary is the word. I can only buy it in bulk, which makes it good for but it is very soft. It is non-toxic. So we're going to do what's called the pinch pot. Okay. And again, what I also like to do in my classes is I like to give them a lot of history as well. So I talk to them about the history of clay. So we're just going to do the pinch pot today, though. So you're going to put your thumb up, which is actually an arthritis exercise. If you really put your thumb, like right now, most people just put their thumb up. But if you really stretch that thumb toward the ceiling, you should be able to feel it in here. Very good exercise.
Cool.
Yeah. Take that thumb, turn it upside down, and put a little hole in the ball. And then take your thumb out. We're only wearing gloves. The clay is non-toxic. Everything that we're using, the paints are non-toxic, but we're only wearing gloves because it gets in our rings. So I just don't want to have to wash out our
We're
rings.
so fancy.
Okay, take it, turn it upside down, and just go a little bit deeper. Okay, and then take it out. All right, so what they did years ago is they actually would use this method to make their bowls and their cups, because they were considered like gatherers years ago, right? So if they went out and they got strawberries or blueberries, and they came back to the village and they had all these, strawberries and blueberries just in a net or something, it's kind of, they're all over, they're rolling, they're all over. And so what they did is they devised this, which is, it's really called a hand building method. So it's the pinch pot, but it's a hand building method to make their pottery, and then to be able to put then the strawberries, blueberries in something.
Awesome.
So that's why it started. So your thumb's gonna go in the hole, 4 fingers go on the outside, and then you're gonna give it like a squeeze, almost like you're doing a sock puppet, and then you're gonna roll it, and you're gonna squeeze it again. Now, if you're one that pinches and has a tendency, because we all have tendencies to put our hands a different way, and pull up, your pot will obviously be taller. If you have a tendency to pull out, your pot's going to be wider. So you're just literally going to just pull. Okay, so again, it's all about working the hands and the fingers, working in the ways
Wait, hold on a second. Look at mine.
No, it's good.
Mine's like a flower pot.
Yeah. Well, actually, we might turn it into a little flower, and I'll show you that. So just nice and easy. Sometimes I say to them, if you can use the other hand, use the other hand. If I'm working with somebody in the class, so usually it's like a class of 12, but if I'm working with somebody that only has use of the one hand, I will only use my one hand.
That's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
To make them feel
Feel good.
comfortable. And
Yeah. Squeeze it, turn it. So again, not only are we bringing hope to people and getting them out of their rooms, and again, by playing with something that most of them are probably accustomed to, because I think we all made mud pies.
Yeah.
I said, if my mother only knew back then, I wouldn't have got yelled at for making mud pies with my dress on.
It is very soft too.
It's very soft,
Yeah.
right? It's very soft. Now, the nice thing is we don't have to worry about air bubbles, so that helps us out a lot. So we can just squeeze it and turn it. Again, if I'm working with people that have both uses of their hands, we're just gonna pinch it.
Does this have to
turn it.
be baked or is it air
No,
dried?
it's gonna get hardened by itself, which is really nice. So, so again, but we also meet very amazing people too. And so, I don't know if we want to talk about some of the people.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've told me a couple stories. You told me about Michael, who was a favorite, I think.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So Michael was just one of those moments that I had that was just really, really profound for me, because he had made a bowl, probably similar to something like this, but he had a really tough time making that bowl. And so I stayed with him after class because he was definitely very depressed. And I wanted to really show him that he could do this. And so he literally changed before my eyes. I mean, his countenance just changed before my eyes. And so anyway, he was so happy with his bowl. He was smiling from ear to ear. And then they put his bowl to dry, which they do, and then they ended up putting it in his room. Well, the next time I came, he came to class and he was definitely kind of upset again. And I said, oh no. And so I said, Michael, what's going on? And he had his hand like this. And he opened up his hand and he had a tiny little like sliver of the pot left in his hand. And he said that an aide was cleaning his room and dropped the pot by accident. But again, what just really was so profound and made such a difference to me is that if it was you or me, we would again sweep it up, throw it in the garbage, and that would be the end. But for Michael, it meant so much that he kept that tiny shard.
Yeah.
And so I think, that impact is what we are so privileged to see every day. And I think that that's what's just been such a blessing. And again, bringing that hope, to people. And as I was mentioning earlier, that, you know, I also, we've also heard a million different stories from people's lives and how, to me, it's like how we can, some people can look at the elderly like just kind of they were the past, but the past is what makes the future.
Yeah.
And so because of them, we have what we have today, our freedoms, liberty we have. And so, you know, when you talk to these people, like there was a gentleman that, that he was a Holocaust survivor. And how, I mean, it's just incredible. And he was telling me the story, how his survival story. And they were going to go on this train, and his mother was fluent in German. And she was talking to the gentleman in charge of bringing everybody on the train, and he turned to her, and I'm getting chills again, because it's so profound. And he just turned to her and whispered, "Do not get on the train." And so she took her family and she brought him back home, and then they ended up shaving his head and putting a wig on him, dressing him in a dress, and they actually gave him with, I don't even think it was a full family, I think it was a family friend, it was a woman, and she ended up smuggling him out, bringing him to a convent, and he stayed there for like 3 years, and they hid them in this convent. And like,
wow.
And then finally, Roosevelt sent the Henry Gibbons over, which was a boat that was supposed to take 1,000 refugees. They didn't even get 1,000 refugees. But he was one of the refugees and eventually reunited with his family. But like, it's incredible. It's just incredible. And there was another woman that I was like, "Oh, what did you used to do?" And she's like, "Oh, I used to clean latrines." I'm like, "Clean latrines?" She said, "Yeah, I used to clean latrines for the Germans in the concentration camp."
Ugh.
Oh my gosh. And here, these people are in these nursing homes, assisted living facilities, healthcare centers.
And you don't realize which stories they're carrying around with them.
We
and
don't.
Yeah.
We don't. It's like I could have a book of them. I mean, it's just amazing. And so, you know, being able to go in there and using just this simple medium to like encourage them with, and again, them feeling, you know, like, oh, anybody can do this. They come out of the rooms and giving them and instilling that hope again. It's just been fantastic.
It's a special
Now,
gift.
if we want to dress this up a little, so sometimes we leave it like this. It's just a little bowl. This is a pinch pop.
Mine is
What
sort
they
of
did-
squared.
That's great. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's just great. So one of the things they would do years ago is they actually made a hole in the ground. They would put wood in that hole, and then they'd put their pottery and they'd fire it. Sometimes they even use like manure, like sheep manure, to kind of like steam it. And so that's how they got theirs hard. But let's take this now, and you're going to take your fingers, you're going to take your thumb, and you're literally just going to pull it out, and we're just make a simple flower. So you're kind of just pulling out the petals. And then I use my, so you can even pull it out a little more if you want, and then I use my thumb.
Oh, I see. You're going like.
And I go around the bottom. And then sometimes I get a little bee or something to put on it.
Oh, cute. Oh, my didn't work.
It's not bad. If you take your thumb and kind of push
there
it
you
here
go.
a little bit, it'll be more pronounced
Just
for
like-
you.
Yeah. There we go.
So we are all over New Jersey doing this. We're also in the west coast of Florida. We service from Bradenton down to Naples. And we're planning on starting on the east coast of Florida the end of June, I believe it is.
Oh wow! So if I
so-
wanted to have your, if I wanted you to come to a facility that you
Sure.
aren't at, then I can.
Yes, our website is creatingwithclayllc.com. We definitely use the LLC. So if you look us up, it is creatingwithclayllc.com. And then our phone number is there, and people can make an appointment. And but I think, you know, today and thinking about you coming and all that, you know, it really isn't about the business as much as I just really wanted to make it clear, you know, to really not give up, you know, to really not give up. Because we do all go through hard times, you know, life is hard sometimes. And, but you know, it really is, it's very easy to say I'm alone, or this has never happened to somebody before, or, you know, whatever it may be. And you feel isolated, and you isolate yourself too,
Yeah.
right? Like these people do in these nursing homes.
Yeah.
And so I want your listeners, your viewers, to know that they aren't alone, and that really this is just a season. It will pass, and that again, I truly believe that that darkest hour that they go through just means it's a setup for a grandiose, huge thing that they're going to do someday, because I would have never imagined where I am and how far I feel like kind of I went. So, you know, don't lose hope, because you're going to do something great. You're going to do something amazing. And I think that's more of my message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me today and showing me this and what's possible. And it's incredibly inspiring to hear you talk about it and to know that you're really giving these people such hope and helping them share their story. You know, they can share their stories with you and so they don't feel as alone.
No.
It's amazing.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today at parkbench.com/Wyckoff. I'm Vanessa Krumholtz, your local real estate expert, and I'm here today with Lisa Hardensfeld, Creating with Clay LLC. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon.